So this is where I'm at with my project. Holy crap. Mosquitoes are out. So this is where I'm at. I trimmed bases the other day. I trimmed through my favorite base, but I still have this one, though I like the other one much better. The other one, this part was thicker and not as wide. So I'm gonna try to rethrow it, but with a base that is 20 centimeters instead of whatever this one is. But this is what we're going for, kind of. And then this one too, I don't think I'm going to cut out this. I did that for the switch, but I think I'm going to try to figure out how to put the switch on the cord. According to Mr. Coberly Userface, it's not difficult, so I should be able to figure it out. So that'll be there. This will be here. Right? So that is what we're aiming for. I only have enough clay for one attempt. I gotta do some reclaim as always. So I got 4 pounds of we're not plugged in. Okay. So I've got 4 pounds of the same clay I've been using. I think it's Kentucky mud, no, high water, little loafers. Jax Butch says hi. Yusuf says hi. Spades as emoji. I am making a lamp base. So this is what I've been working on. This is the first attempt. So I'm going to throw another one of these, what you see here, except I'm not going to have this strip cut out. This is where the lamp goes in. This goes on top, right? But I'm not going to do this time. I also want this to be more narrow. Thanks Jax. So I had another one of these bases that I liked more, but I trimmed through it and broke it Sunday. So I want to try one more time. What I got. Passerby! Always nice to see you, Passerby. Malcolm! Hello! Yusuf is from Ireland. Hi, Malcolm. Any good birds lately? Not anywhere near the center. Yeah, we had some crazy storms as well. Last night was nuts. Was it last night? Yeah, last night. I got so many extra mosquitoes today. Yusuf, I'm from the United States. In the state of Georgia. In the United States. Okay. Hey, dear. Do I like Ireland? I've never been there. State of euphoria. Never been there. I imagine I would like it. I like the Irish accent. Bye, Yusuf. No, we just mainly get cardinals. Mainly cardinals. That's mainly what I get bird feeders for, but we have an obscene amount of cardinals, like a cardinal infestation. They're everywhere. I think it's because we have so many mulberry trees. I'm not complaining anyway. I love the cardinals. They're funny. I'll have to post a picture of this one chonk. Man, he lives across the street from us. He's so chunky. He's just like a little round guy. He and his little girly friend, they'll only venture to the front of our yard, because I'm assuming the middle part is, you know, home to another cardinal set. We have an eagle that lives in this neighborhood, though. Eagle or a hawk? Some lady said eagle. I've seen them. I got a feather from them. Walking the dogs one day. It's huge. Maybe really osprey? Interesting. Flag, no, same project. This is the lamp. So I'm redoing the lamp base. I was trimming my lamp bases. I had 2 and I trimmed through 1. And that was my favorite one. So I want to give it another shot. So close to a new project, but not yet. By the way, it's nice to see you, Flag. Hawks and Osprey. Oh, Meg says hi. Mud! 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 Nice to see you, Mud. Hope you're having a good day. It's gonna be a short stream. I've only got like 1 throw I'm gonna do. 1 and a baby throw. The baby throw will be a test style. Bye, Malcolm. Don't worry about it, Mud. I'll do it for the likes. I do it for the clay. I do it for the mud. Meeting nice people like you is just a bonus. But thank you for the kindness. The wonst. I thought I'd done a good job with this clay. Obviously I didn't. Dare. I won't be long. This is the only throw I'm doing.
Okay. I bought extra asparagus without realizing we had some already.
I will.
So I have double asparagus right now.
That's not bad. That's not a bad thing to have. I like asparagus. You like asparagus?
Huh?
I said I like asparagus. You like asparagus.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the shopping. Nothing but Alright, go down that way. It's not a good start, guys. Not a good start. It is a dance-in. That's exactly what I was thinking. Right. Y'all be nice to each other. So what I'm doing here is called coning and centering. It looks funny, but there is a purpose to it. See that mosquito, man? They are out. They're out for blood. Hopefully this is the last time. Alright. Mirrorhead's here. Hey. Like and love the centeredness of this. Alright. Oh, hey, Sharukin. So I'm making a lamp. I'm not going to grab my example right now because my hands are too messed up, but I'm making a lamp right now, making the lamp base. So the next step is now to actually doing some fun stuff, which is doing what's called opening up. So I'm going to drill a hole into the center of the clay. Passerby's back. That's gonna be lately. Yeah, flag. So the next step would be like a cylinder. So, yeah, most things start that way. Most things start with coning, centering, making a dome, opening up, and then making a cylinder. Near head, near head. All right. Oh no, Bob, no. This isn't good. This is a terrible spot for you to land. Oh, you get clay all over you. I'm so sorry. Here, take that. Oh. Oh. All right. What was the leap though? What's it name? Says hi. It's kind of like condensing the walls. Okay, so I have no idea what kind of bug that was, but I feel really bad for it. Bronson. Thank you, Pragati. It depends on when you say pure puer taste. Like, It's not like the fishy puer. I like the earthy puer. But I found like even the fishy stuff, like it's only fishy like the second brew, I guess, that after you clean it. So I'm aiming for 20 wide. Okay, so this is going good. This is going good. Yeah, it happens a lot here, but it does. I just ignore it. People have been saying inappropriate things since I was a kid, like most ladies. So I just ignore it, and I just assume most of them are children. Do hair, not sad. You know, it's not my place to decide what's okay and what's not okay. I can't control other people's behavior. All I can do is control how it affects me or how I let it affect me. So, like, there's nothing I can do to make people not say inappropriate things in the chat. You know, even having mods, which I don't have mods, wouldn't stop it because people say something inappropriate and then you're just playing this whack-a-mole constantly of trying to get rid of stuff. I just let people say their things, ignore them, and then they move on. You know, and my focus is just not to let it bother me. And the way that I do that is I usually wonder about the person and wonder how lonely they must be. If that's how they're getting their kicks. You know, wonder how people probably have treated them in their life. So, I try to lead with compassion. And when I say lead with, like, let that be my first emotion, or let that be the action, or the emotion that propels action. If that makes sense. Maybe a little hippy-dippy, but I've just found that it's easier, you know, life's just better that way for me. Like when I treat people with compassion, even if they're not nice to me, I don't know, it's a better experience for me. Jom! Jom! What's up, bro? What's up, bro? Inaction is still action, correct. Inaction is an action. Yeah, 100%. I just don't believe you can change other people's behaviors. Like, I'm not going to get through to anybody here, you know what I mean? But different strokes for different folks. Bro's so concentrated on the comments. I know, bro. I know. Because I always feel bad when I miss comments. When I have chat on. When I have chat on, I try to be engaged. Meeting nice people was one of the anticipated side effects of streaming. And sometimes I have chat off because those days are for me. And so therefore, if I have chat on, I want to be present. Oh, mud. No, it's hard. And I can understand too, because like, it's easier for me to take, that's the action I take towards myself, but something I'm actually trying to work on, if I see someone else be bullied, it brings out the bully in me. And I'm trying to work on that. Because then all of a sudden I'm like, let me be mean. So I get it. I get that it's hard. Especially to be witness to it. But I also look at it this way. If they're here bothering me, they're not bothering somebody who actually gets affected by that stuff, you know what I mean? I mean, ideally, everyone would just be nice and compassionate and kind to each other. That would be ideal. But I'm not that naive. But the other thing too, I know, is that a lot of people, like, that's how they're getting their kicks, is getting reactions out of people. So by not reacting, you know, you're kind of taking control of the situation. Brigatti, it's no problem that you don't know anything about pottery. I didn't know anything about pottery when I started. And, I'm gonna make this go a little bit higher. Can't feed the trolls, darn straight. And it was the first, I guess, where pottery is basically making a product. No, man, you can make art. To me, pottery is just like the process of creating. Honestly, this right here, I could never make anything. I could just sit there and play with the wheel all day long. This is like the coolest thing ever. Oh, that's a lot of emojis. So, but yeah, people make art. Oh no! Okay. Alright, so let's start thinking. This needs to go wider. At the very, very top. The bottom is not too bad. I'm going to pinch the bottom in a little bit, but I'm going to save that for the last. So yeah, Mirrorhead, you kind of know why. That's like, when I started this, I told myself I was going to record every time I throw, and I have pretty much done that. Maybe a handful of times I've not recorded. And then I started streaming, and then chat happened, and I met awesome people like you, which is cool, which is why I keep the chat on. And then there's days I just don't want to deal with it. And it's nothing about you, it's just, you know, the other stuff. So, you get it. Oh yeah. Every time I Mr. Cobra Laserface, we like to watch the pottery show, the Great British Pottery Show or whatever. He's gonna say at least once, potters are crazy. Potters are crazy. I have calipers now, but okay, yeah, this is wide enough. But I haven't broke them out yet, so. DJ Sticky Online Official, hello. So I'm trying to make this bottom thicker because I want to cut a foot into it. That's what I don't like about that other one, because there's no foot. And that will also help make space for the cord. And the reason why the base looks like this is that I want somewhere to throw my earrings, my rings and stuff. My earplugs. Alright, last step is I'm going to collar in the base right here some. Hopefully this goes well. I don't wreck everything. Maybe like use that to make it easier. I really wanted to color in more here. Jar says hi. Now this is all funky. Whew, okay. Almost there. Lots of chat, lots of chat. Okay. All right, we're just gonna call that that. It's not gonna be fun trying to trim that, but whatever. That is that. Okay, yeah, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. I really messed things up. Okay. I'm not gonna cut this off right away. I'm gonna let it kind of get a little bubbly first. Okay, so I'll show you guys what's going on. And apologies to my friends who have seen this 8,000 times. Is there specific types of clay for specific objects? Yes. Mad, you're very kind. You don't have to do that. Bowl hole. All right, so this is what I'm making. This was the first attempt. So this is how this is going to work. I have a big strip cutting down the middle. I'm not going to do the next one like that. And the reason why that one's like that is, hey! Adirondax. So that's going to go like that, and that slit is to help me be able to touch this, get to the switch. But I think what I'm actually going to do on this other one is not cut the switch, hole for the switch, and try to add a switch to the core. So, and what I don't like about this one is there's no foot. It's really lame. And so I had to, because there's no foot, I had to like make a crease, and you can see that crease there for the cord to come out, and I don't like the way that looks. So I'm going to try to throw another one. Not now. That's going to be the one, my extra one that I threw. I'll probably still get that one fired as a test run. So last thing is just to make a tiny pot that I'll use as a tester to test a glaze. The glaze I got for this project. The warp off the top of the pot? There's a warp on the top of the pot? Oh, yes. Yes, I'm gonna take that out. Because I'd rather it just be a foot and the cord and then a hole out the back that the cord comes out. I don't like the crease. Lots of people say hi. Oh, I question my skills on a daily basis. What am I making? I just finished making a lamp base. Now I'm just gonna make a little tiny pot, like a little cylinder with this itty bitty piece of clay here that's gonna be a pain to center. Working with tiny clay sucks. And this will just be to test the glaze. The glaze I'm playing with that I've purchased for this project is palladium. So if anyone has worked with it and has any tips, let me know. You like the hole better than the cord? Okay. That's interesting. Maybe it would be good to do both. I am from the United States. Hernandez says hey. Amir says hello. Hernandez says hello. Hello. Who taught me? Have fun at your softball game. Good luck. Who taught me? I took a 6-week course a few years ago, about a year before I got my wheel, or a year and a half before I got my wheel. And then there was about a year break where I didn't do anything. A year and a half break, something like that. And then I got my wheel and I haven't had any lessons since. But I watch YouTube. Greetings from the south of... Oh, just greetings from France. I don't know why I added south in there. Greetings from France. Bonjour. So, Bud, speaking of, like, comments, I finally turned on the extra moderation or whatever on comments, man. There's comments being pulled out of this thing left and right. I'm curious what they are. They say, like, click to review, but I'm not dealing with that. My hands are messy. So, how many things you create? This time, one thing. But, I don't know. 5 things. I make 5 things. I make plant pots. I make statues. I make mugs. And now I make lamp. Will I teach you? I am not qualified to teach people, but there's a famous YouTuber that does a lot of teaching stuff. Florian Gadsby, Florian Gadsby, something like that. Most Britishly sounding name ever. Simon Leach. He also does a lot of educational stuff. Yeah, I thought about adding the word ghost to Automon, just because like I get the Patrick Swayze comment so much. But then I was like, but then people couldn't tell me ghost stories, and I want to hear ghost stories. So if anyone has a ghost story they want to share, I'm all for it. The clay is a stoneware called Kentucky Mudworks. No, I'm sorry. It's called Little Loafers from High Water. And who was it? Flag. The color is the glaze that I got that I want to use is called palladium, and it looks like a metal. It looks like you can look it up. It's got like just a mirror metal looking finish. Man, I like stories. I like to hear. One of my favorite stories to ask people is, what's the strangest thing that ever happened to you? How old was I? I'm 41 now. 39. Someone else made a comment about Taylor Swift earlier. I don't think I look like Taylor Swift at all. However, I have a sister-in-law that looks a hell of a lot like her. She could totally pass for her. In fact, she even dressed up her as one Halloween. I think they're close in the same age, too. Deep is that bottom. Old-fashioned? What? It's not old-fashioned. It's timeless. It's old-fashioned is breathing. Is breathing old-fashioned? Breathing's not old-fashioned. Walking old-fashioned? Walking's not old-fashioned. It's just been done for a long time. No one stopped doing it. Bye, Muirhead! Yep. Asparagus is dinner. We were having portobello mushrooms. I'm actually doing green beans instead of asparagus because they go better with the mushrooms. Plantains. And probably something else. It's a tiny, tiny pot. Dude, I love Brussels sprouts. What's that one butter mushroom? Which mushroom? There's a lot of good mushrooms. Have you ever had lion's mane? That is delicious. I grew it for a while. That was like one of the things I taught myself was to grow mushrooms. I need to get back into it because lion's mane, that's some good stuff. That's good stuff. Like, you know when you sometimes eat something and you're like, ah, this is good for me. Like you can tell that it's healthy and good for you. That's lion's mane. Do I know painting? I am learning painting. I'm taking art classes. So I'm learning to draw and paint. See, in fact, I often draw my stuff. See, I plan it out. That's my lamp. Oh, oyster mushrooms? They also have, not turkey's tail, chicken of the woods. Forgot, you don't know what kind of mushrooms I'm eating. Palladium, not all over. I'm only gonna do palladium on the, I was thinking about on the inside of the shade, because I was hoping that would help bounce light around, and then on the base. And then I thought it'd be really cool to keep the outside of the shade just clay, bare clay. So we'll see. Plus I was thinking that would be probably good for the weight. I'm still kind of worried about the weight of the shade. Dude, so octopuses are awesome. In fact, that is our mascot for our business, our game making business, is an octopus. They are really cool creatures. The first game that we made, the character was an octopus. They're incredibly intelligent creatures, and they're funny. I based my little inspiration for our character in our game. There were two octopuses, Charlie, and I can't remember the other one. One was an octopus that escaped from a zoo in like Australia. It just like snuck out in the middle of the night, and it took him forever to figure out how it got out. And then the other one, the octopus's name was Charlie, and Charlie was used in experiments for these scientists. And Charlie, like what Charlie was supposed to do was pull a lever, and Charlie would pull, like the idea was teach the octopuses to pull this lever to turn the light on. Well, octopuses don't like light, so what Charlie would do is pull the lever until it was broken. Charlie would also splash the lights to short them out. Charlie also splashed scientists. And then like finally after like the fourth time that Charlie broke the experiment setup, they just had to like call it quits. And I don't know what, hopefully they just released Charlie. They didn't do something bad with Charlie, but I just thought that was funny. Like this octopus is like, no, I'm not, I know what you want me to do and I'm not gonna do it. I don't care if you give me a piece of squid. I like that a lot. It's very inspiring. I don't know why I'm making this so big. Okay. Because your people are awesome, Mud. Yeah, I can show you something. Give me a second. Yeah, so this is just going to be testing the glaze. So it doesn't need to be perfect. I kind of wanted it wider because it was going to serve a purpose. I don't know what kind of purpose this is going to serve now. I guess it's somewhere to put the tools. Okay. So things I have made, and then I got to go to make dinner. Make sure there's anything else. You don't ruin anything, Mud. You make things better. So this is what I was throwing earlier, the base for my lamp. The lamp will work like this. Ta-da! So that's one thing I have made. And another thing I have made this is a little dusty, you have to excuse it, but this is some of my favorite things I've ever made. This is it's a little deku, so if you ever played Zelda, but the older Zeldas, so they were in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, and what's the other one? Oh, I think they're in Link's Awakening. But anyway, they're a little creature from that, and they pop out of the ground, and normally they have a plant coming out of their head. So this is a plant pot. So it's a little hole for draining at the bottom, and then I have this so I can hang it on a fence, and then I fill it with dirt, and then the little plant comes out. I've got a couple of these, and there's a video somewhere that I showed one finished, so. How much time for drying clay? Depends. Depends on how big the thing is. This I will let dry many days because the thing for the lamp, because it's flat and I want to make sure that it dries, it doesn't get warped when it dries. I have not made an ocarina yet, but that is on my list of things to do. I don't know if you follow Pottery Demon, but he's making a water whistle, which is even cooler than an ocarina. But I gotta make an ocarina because I am a big Zelda fan. So I think I'm gonna make an ocarina and then maybe one day try to make a water whistle. like what he's doing, which is awesome. So many projects. Alright. So anyways, I'm gonna head out. I got dinner to cook. Next time I'm on, it will be to trim that lamp base. I've got some reclaim to do before I can start throwing any new projects, but I'll probably start that reclaim tomorrow. And I actually gotta think of some projects, what I'm gonna do after this lamp. So, anywho. You guys have an awesome day. If you're not having an awesome day, I hope tomorrow is a better day than today. Bye, passerby. Bye, mud. Sam Naz, yes, you have to fire the clay after. Absolutely. Okay. Bye, guys. Oh, yep, that's the work. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't work.